just a bunch of young, bright-faced interns just there because they love him and what he does. And he's just like, fuck you. You guys suck.
All right. And we are recording. What is up, everybody? And welcome to episode 6 of the Hot Stove Podcast. Josh didn't know I started recording while he was talking. So
I didn't. You got me. You undergraded me.
I undergraded you. We started mid-conversation. That's how you do it, baby. That's proper transition to the start of the episode.
Yeah.
Mark, what are you eating over there?
I got myself some Domino's stuffed cheesy bread.
Oh, wait.
That stuff's pretty good.
It is. It tastes very good. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and this is dinner. So
nice. You got yourself a Fanta.
Yeah, it's a nice Fanta. Please sponsor us.
This episode's sponsored by Fanta.
Yep. I'll be giving my Fanta FanDuel lineup of the week. There we go.
Yeah. Also, so the three of you, I sent you a new link for the FanDuel contest this week. If you haven't, please go make your lineup. We'll talk about it later in the show.
I refuse.
Anyways, I'm your host, Zach Nunez. I'm here with 3 of my co-hosts.
I'm the guy with the stuffed cheesy bread. That's all you're getting out of me. I'm not saying my name.
Why are you yelling at the mic?
Why are you yelling at the mic?
Josh.
You got Austin, when you say he's got a weird beard.
Are those Wheaties or Cheerios?
Dang, you got Zach.
Got a fucking weird beard.
Beard is weird.
Beard is weird.
Beard is weird.
Okay. Anyways, that was a little Eminem humor. Between the two. I swear I'm not white. So we're here for episode 6 of the Hot Stove Podcast. Connor will be joining us shortly. Unless he doesn't, then he won't be.
Not.
That's pretty much his policy every week, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I only have one trivia question this week. So we're going to be jumping directly into it. We got some other non-football stuff to talk about, obviously.
All right,
cool. Mark, if you want to come up with trivia.
I'm sort of fried.
I got a fun trivia question.
Okay. Is it like an actual trivia question or?
Yeah.
Okay. Josh, you say your trivia question first.
Okay. This is totally off brand for us, but this weekend at Roland Garros in Paris, Rafael Nadal won his 13th French Open.
Mm-hmm.
He's 13 and 0 in French Open finals. This was his. I can't say that. So he's competed in the French Open obviously for a while. His record at the French Open, I'll give this away. His record at the French Open, he won his 100th game this year. This 100th match yesterday. Out of 102 matches. He's lost twice on clay at the French Open. Out of those 100 wins, how many, and Austin, I told you this yesterday, so you can't answer, how many were in straight sets?
Is it like prices? Are we doing prices right? Like closest without going over?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it like that. Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be Mark and I.
Yep.
And closest without going over gets it. So how many out of his 100 match wins at the French Open were in straight sets? Well, I know the final was yesterday, so that's at least one.
It was. Yes.
Nunez go with the answer of 1, I see.
I'm gonna go with 62.
I saw this stat and I forgot what the number was.
I did not see the stat, so
and
Mark's
I'm trying to like. I'm gonna go 73 just because I can't think of it.
Okay. Both wrong, both low. 81.
Yeah, I knew it was really high.
Wow.
4 out of 5 times he faces you at the French, you're gonna go in straight sets. Rafael Nadal is insane.
All right, so Mark got the point there. I have one, and if you watched football this last weekend, you know the stat because they said about 7,000 times on the 1 o'clock broadcast, so it's not even as cool anymore. The Steelers this week beat the Eagles, are 4-0. The Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll be talking about them a little bit later, but when was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers went 4-0 to start a season?
78?
Not correct.
1901.
Also not correct.
73.
Negative. Right era, though. It is the Steel Curtain era.
I thought for sure it was in the set. I don't know.
76.
No.
79.
77?
Mark got it right. It's 1979. 1979 was the last time the Steelers have gone 4-0. Josh, you were also kind of right. The Steelers have only gone 4-0 three times in their franchise's history. 1978, 1979, and 2020. The first two times they went 4-0, they won the Super Bowl that season.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say the Steelers are a
What
good football
are
team.
you trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, so the Steelers are good, and we'll talk about them in just a little bit. But first, some housekeeping. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at HotStoveWMYO. Make sure to like and subscribe. Smash that bell. Leave a comment down below if you want to leave a comment. Do all the YouTube things.
Yep.
We're going to have some content because we always have content. I don't know when we should record our next episode of After Dark soon.
Okay.
We haven't done
That
that.
one I'm committing to being fully nude. So tune in.
Well, I appreciate it if you didn't, but if you want to, I guess go for it. We did the last one shirtless.
And we did.
Yeah.
So we got to up the ante.
I've done everyone shirtless.
So just and also an update, on our Hot Stove FanDuel contest. This week, it wasn't particularly close. Mark ran away with first place, 162 points.
Hey, I want to let it be known that it's not over yet.
Yeah, you're right. Austin has
Jonnu
Smith.
Smith could score 40 more in the fourth quarter.
Austin has Jonnu Smith. So Mark had 162 points.
Every single one of my offensive starters scored.
Is that true?
Yeah, every single
It
one
is-
had a
looking at
touchdown.
it right
is
now.
correct.
Yep.
In fact, the Cowboys scored. So, in fact, every player on your roster scored.
Did the
Yes,
Cowboys
we had the
defense
Cowboys
score?
defense as well, and they had a pick six.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, so every single thing in my lineup scored.
So good for him. Austin finished in second.
That's-
It's not 100% done, but as it stands right now, he has 121.5 points. I finished in third, 107.1, and Josh bringing up the rear with 86.8.
Pick some duds this week, folks. And
Yeah.
my quarterback got
done.
injured.
I also want it to be known that Jonnu Smith caught a touchdown, and FanDuel it doesn't seem to have recognized that. So I'm actually more of like 127 or
That's
8
true. I
right
did
now.
just watch him catch a touchdown. So
Yeah,
those will be updated, but the standings are pretty firm. So as it stands right now, first place finishes, Austin has 2, I have 1, and Mark has 1. Second place finishes, Josh has 2, Mark has 1, Austin has 1. Third place finishes, both Mark and I have 2, and fourth place finishes, I have 1, Josh has 2, and Austin has 1. So
I'm just consistent. I don't finish last. I just don't.
we
I've
will
never finished
discuss.
first.
We will discuss our week 6 lineups later in the show. This week it's going to be for the main slate. There's no Thursday night football right now, so as it stands, FanDuel is only offering contests for the main slate. I assume tomorrow they'll add a Sunday through Monday slate that'll start at 1 p.m. and then go through both Monday night games. But for the purposes of this show this week, we'll be doing the main slate, which will be a little restricted because there is not only a Sunday night game, but there's 2 games on Monday night this upcoming week and 4 teams on the bye. Yes, Josh.
What's the second game Monday night?
The first game is
Dallas, Arizona, right?
Dallas, and then before that at 5 o'clock, it's Chiefs Bills.
Oh, it's on Monday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Duh.
Mhm.
So on our slate this week, we are missing out on Chiefs Bills, Cowboys Cardinals, and Rams 49ers, which is the Sunday night game this week. So we'll be doing our lineups based on the rest of the games in the slate. And also on a bye this week are the Chargers, Saints, Raiders, and the Seahawks. Okay. So a couple of non-football things to talk about. First of all, we are currently watching game 3 of the NLCS, game 2 of the NLCS going on right now. The Atlanta Braves are putting a beat down on the Dodgers as we speak. It's still 7-0, right?
Yeah, but Dodgers about to score.
Yeesh.
But yeah,
Not many things have gone well this week for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the same can be said for the Houston Astros. They're currently down 2-0 in the series against the Rays. Has anybody scored in that game yet?
yeah, Altuve hit a home run in the first inning.
Okay,
It's
so
1-0.
1-0 Houston in the bottom of the second in game 3 of the ALCS. So that's what's happening there. Has anything interesting happened in those 2 series that anybody wants to bring up?
So I guess it was the question of, is the Braves pitching good, or have they just played teams who can't hit? And so far we've learned that it's good. Josh was the biggest one speculating it's just a dog Reds lineup.
Yeah.
And then they went and shut down the Marlins, and now they've shut down the Dodgers through 7 innings, almost. So
Through
I don't know.
through 16 innings almost.
Well, yeah, through
Yeah.
through 9 yesterday, almost 7 today.
So
Maybe they're just good.
maybe. As it stands right now, I would reckon the Braves are the best team in baseball at the moment. There's an argument. I know there's only 4 teams left. Yeah. No. And I know there's an argument to be made for the Rays, but for my money, the Braves are the best team of the 4 still remaining.
What we do know is, as of this moment, they are the best team in the National League.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Rays, did they get a break now? And that they play what, 2 off day 2?
No off days.
It's 7 straight.
Yeah.
After just playing 5 straight.
Yep.
Correct.
Good Lord.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
I brought it. Austin and I were talking about it beforehand. I guess, I rationalize it with I guess there's stretches in the regular season where you play 11, 12 days in a row.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
So,
This should be very beneficial to the Rays and Dodgers, who have very deep starting rotations.
yeah.
But
Cole Beasley just left the game with an injury.
for some reason, the Dodgers still
Corey
can't
Seager
get
just
together.
hit a home run.
Oh, a 3-run home
Yeah.
run.
Yep.
So
There you go.
also we're doing a little bit of a watch party right now. We'll transition to that actually. We're doing a bit of a watch party right now. I don't know, Mark. I don't know if Mark's actually watching it, but
I've currently got the Braves Dodgers game on, but the football.
Austin, Josh, and I are currently watching the Titans and the Bills. Titans are currently up 28-10.
What channel is it on?
CBS.
The Titans are currently up 28-10, and it seems to me that this game is kind of the comeback down to earth game for Buffalo, in terms of their offense, at least. And
Sure.
like we brought up before we started recording, it's a bit of a compounding issue. On one hand, Josh Allen is not playing well. On the other hand, his receivers sure aren't helping.
Yeah, it's been
Just-
pretty bad on both ends.
Oh,
There it
yeah,
is.
there's one right there.
Yeah. So,
You see,
for example, his first interception was all because a receiver tipped it, but his second interception
Was brutal.
was quite bad. And he just threw a ball 4 feet behind a receiver
Mm-hmm.
running an in route. So,
Did you guys just see that stat on Isaiah McKenzie? He has 2 catches for -4 yards and a touchman. What the hell happened?
I
Yeah.
watched his catch
Watch-
earlier. It
He
was
has
like a
like a
negative
negative-
10-yard catch or
Yeah.
something.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That might be the most ridiculous stat line I've ever heard.
That's pretty close.
So, while we're doing the podcast, we'll be reacting to anything that happens in the fourth quarter of this game. So we are 11 and a half minutes left in this football contest. Currently recording this at 9:21 p.m. Eastern. Also, before we get into NFL news, I'd like to say a firm congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers for winning the NBA championship this season. As a Heat fan, it's not the way you want it to go down, but honestly, I can't be mad at it. It was some good basketball, and I'm excited for whenever the NBA comes back.
That's
I
a
will
big old boo from me.
I refuse to give them a congratulations.
I will say congratulations to the Heat for staying gritty, fighting back, not letting it be that way, and not only because I had a big cover at halftime on a live bet. So thank you, Heat, and appreciate you. Appreciate you trying till the end.
So, to the NFL. And the most recent breaking news that for once, I wasn't the one to break it. This time it was Josh that broke it to the rest of us. Le'Veon Bell just got released by the Jets.
Yeah, I saw that on my phone on the car ride home. That's wild.
So it's a weird situation where you don't want to fire the guy who's not putting Le'Veon in a position to succeed, but you're willing to take a $15 million dead cap hit to get Le'Veon Bell off your team for what? Now, we had this conversation again. So I just peek behind the curtains a little bit before we usually like hop on the Zoom call and just like hang out before we start recording. You know, we're friends and whatnot. We talk to each other occasionally. What the hell is the point of releasing Le'Veon Bell? So you can give 18 carries a game to Frank Gore?
Yeah.
Like, you know that as long as Adam Gase is on this staff, Frank Gore is going to be the bell cow. Don't get me
It's
wrong.
almost like saying that like he's the problem. It doesn't even make sense.
Don't get me wrong. Frank Gore, easy first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No question in my mind.
Sure.
One of the best, well, probably at this point in his career, one of the top 10 or so best running backs in NFL history. I'll put my flag down on that.
Yeah.
But for a team that is this bad and should really be looking towards the future, I don't know as if it's a good idea to be giving the majority of the carries to 37-year-old Frank Gore.
I don't get so moving on from Bell and pretty much like you said, kind of siding with Gase here. And then
I know we accidentally cut Austin off when he was saying that. That was a great point that he made, that this basically makes it seem like Le'Veon was the problem or something, something like that.
Big cancer in the locker room.
Huge.
Absolute locker room cancer.
But so when you side with a guy who pretty much your entire team has come out on some sort of social media and said they hate their coach, not really, but you know, what's the goal? So the goal for the Jets is to go 0-16 and then draft Trevor Lawrence and replace Darnold. Is that the goal?
So they can go 1-15 next.
How do they get better? I don't understand where the get better part is.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I don't get the move here.
We just had a successful mutiny. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Also,
we just had a successful mutiny in the NFL a week ago with the Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How brain dead is the Jets management?
And Atlanta.
Well, that wasn't a mutiny. That was just they got sick of Dan Quinn. What I mean by the mutiny in Houston is that it was a legitimate players' mutiny. Like
that's true. Yeah.
They voiced their opinions on how they wanted Bill O'Brien out.
That's fair.
But
by the way, Le'Veon Bell tweeted prayer hands after he got
but like, is the Jets management brain dead? Like, are they that dumb?
To
just say we don't want to listen to our players. We'll listen to this guy who has never been a successful head coach. I'm sorry, he had one good season in Chicago.
You see the thing where he's had the same amount of wins as double-digit losses in his career?
Thank you. And I'm sorry, I'm going to break with the family-friendly aspect of the show for a second. The only reason this guy has a fucking job is because he stumbled upon Peyton Manning. It's the only reason that we think that John Elway is a good fucking executive.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. Adam Gase is not good. I said it beforehand. Again, before we started recording, I talk a lot about this on this podcast for almost no reason about how bad of a head coach Jeff Fisher was. There are few people. I think Vontaze Burfict is the only football person that I have more hate for than Adam Gase.
Where does OJ lie in this?
Well, I don't consider him a football player.
Man rushed for over 11,000 yards. He's a football player.
Yeah,
I don't know why people don't like him, to be quite frank with you.
No, I hear what you're saying.
It blows my mind. And I really don't want to make this like, oh, I'm going to be the SJW like kind of guy. But it blows my mind that this fucking joker keeps getting jobs. And there are dozens of black coaches out there that don't get a fucking look.
Yeah.
Lovie Smith, for example.
Yeah.
Just as a Bears connection thing. You know what he did after he left Chicago?
Went to
After he
college,
left Tampa Bay? He went to Illinois and turned that program into a bowl contender. The University of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't get a fucking look in the NFL anymore. Because there's people like Adam Gase taking jobs. Don't tell me that white privilege doesn't exist in coaching. It fucking does. And Adam Gase is the reason behind it. Anybody else have anything to say about the Jets?
I want to say the real straw that broke camel's back for me wasn't even this Le'Veon Bell thing. It was allowing Jamal Adams to go. Management saying we choose Adam Gase over Jamal Adams was the point where you said this is over. I mean, this team's done.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
there's nothing you could say.
I didn't think it was possible for an organization to be run more poorly than Dan Snyder runs the Washington football team. But guess what? At least Dan Snyder actually brought in a coach that knows what the fuck he's doing. He brought in Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
The Jets management fired Todd Bowles and brought in fucking Adam Gase to coach their football team.
I don't know, like, moving forward even, who's the bright star to, like, help form even in a semblance of a football team?
No one.
There really isn't.
We still don't know whether or not Sam Darnold's good.
No.
So
and, like, the best young offensive talent, because Jameson Crowder ain't no young spring chicken, is probably Chris Herndon, who is kind of bad so far.
I was going to say, at this point, we have the book on Chris Herndon. He's not good. He's an athlete. He's one of those University of Miami tight ends. Him and David Njoku.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who are athletes but are bad at football.
I mean, it's literally just Quinn Williams. Just praying to God on that
And it
defense.
doesn't help that CJ Mosley opted out for the season.
Yeah.
You know? Avery Williamson is pretty good. But other than that,
the Jets are just going to be bad for a while.
For a long time.
Like to rebuild that, it's gonna be a while.
And I'll have absolutely no sympathy.
I'm thinking 2010 Rams.
Honestly,
like Sam Bradford led Rams bad.
You want to hear a funny connection to this podcast and that Rams team?
What's that?
Guess who was the coach of that goddamn team?
Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher was the coach of that team.
I'm the only one 2 years ago who thought the Jets were like on the verge of becoming a good football team.
Yeah, I thought they were taking that division once Brady was out.
Thought the Jets were going to do what the Dolphins are currently doing.
Yes, I thought they were going to have a good rebuild and then
I didn't.
add talent. I didn't think they were going to have a okay rebuild and then give away their talent mid-rebuild.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Is the Jets ownership pulling a major league with this team?
In what sense?
You know the movie Major League?
Yeah.
I know the movie Major League.
Yeah, where
They're
the
looking
owner's
at-
like, if we get everybody bad, if we put them on a team, we get to move to Florida.
Huh.
Do you think
I will only say no to that because there's
there are
no
people? I think there's a possibility that there are people within the Jets organization plotting against the Jets organization to get them disbanded from the NFL because no one cares about them anyway.
But what's the strat in not trying to make billions of dollars? If you're an NFL team that you own a team, wouldn't you just try and make as much money as possible by being as good as possible?
If you own a team, you don't have to worry about making money. You're already a billionaire.
Right. So this is the point. And this is the problem when you have people who own teams that aren't invested in sports is they hire people that don't know what they're doing.
Mhm.
Because to them, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because they're still cashing a check.
The resume looks good.
Their resume looks good. You were the owner of a football team.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. I get to own a football team. I get to do what the fuck else but sit in my mansion and wipe my ass with my $100 bills because I own a football team.
Is this after dark? You need to drop more F-bombs on this than any other show.
And I get to, you know, just go nuts and hire Joe Schmo off the street. I don't give a shit if he's never heard of football before. Guess what? He's going to be on my personnel team because I don't have to pay him that much money.
Does this continue to push the narrative that we talked about earlier in the season that Adam Gase has something on this team? He has some dirt.
It's got to be blackmail. There's
It's
got to
gotta
be. He's got to have a picture of the Jets owner like shoving a doorknob up his ass or something like that. He has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, this if we had a channel that like got monetized, this is an immediate demonetization.
Yeah, I think we just say screw it and go forward like this is an After Dark episode. We're too far gone.
It's an After Dark episode.
I think in reference to the Jets, they'd allow it.
We are too far gone.
Look at that play fake by Tannehill.
That was good.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this game at all?
No.
Or did I just spiral into a rant?
We kind of just brushed over it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we completely ignored it.
We talked about it a little.
we talked about the Bills' offense, but I want to talk about the other side of the field here. I think I've finally resigned to the fact that the Titans are a good football team.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it, doesn't it?
I'd reckon. I mean,
I spent the last season denying it.
Yeah, I think they're good.
But I don't think I can deny it.
I think I was wrong that Ryan Tannehill wasn't worth $30 million a year, but I'm going to steal. I'm going to steal to sign that comeback player of the year now.
Just for clarification, for the 3 people that watch this and wonder why Lovie Smith was the only name I brought up when I was complaining about black coaches not getting a look at the NFL, I know that there are others that exist.
Marvin Lewis,
Jim Caldwell, for the love of God, got fired for Matt Patricia.
Yeah,
Man who's so irrelevant, I can't even think of his fucking first name, Mr. Pencilbeard, because of how bad of a coach that
He's
is.
pretty bad too.
Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator for the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
This man should have had a head coaching job years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
When you mentioned that earlier, I almost became a massive asshole and said, listen, Marvin Lewis and Hugh Jackson had jobs for a long time. What else do you want? But I decided against that.
But Marvin Lewis went to the playoffs like 7 years in a row.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Hugh Jackson's the argument there.
But Adam Gase.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Marvin Lewis, I think rightfully, I don't think anybody is rightfully fired unless your name is Adam Gase or Jeff Fisher, but
Dan Quinn was rightfully fired.
Or Chip Kelly because you're racist.
Kelly sucks.
For a while, when Marvin Lewis seemed like the candidate in Dallas, almost. I mean, again, probably just Rooney Rule there, but he got two interviews, and I was like, I wouldn't hate that. I mean, he's just.
I think Marvin Lewis. I understand the Marvin Lewis firing because at some point you're there forever, and the team is just going nowhere, and it's not necessarily your fault because you're not the GM.
Yeah.
And
but
I hate to bring it back to this, but like, had it been someone like Matt Patricia and the team was 8-8 his entire fucking tenure there, guess who wouldn't have gotten fired?
Yeah.
The white guy.
Yeah, like if it was a guy like Jason Garrett who was just with a team for a decade and they went 8-8 constantly and they had the best talent in the league.
Yeah. If Jason Garrett had melanin in his skin, he wouldn't have lasted 4 years.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, probably.
You know, and the best part is the Cowboys hired another white guy who is just going to go 8-8 for eternity.
Yeah, I swear to God, Mike McCarthy the first 5 weeks just looked like he's just fucking around. He just like to have some fun. He's like, damn, this is what it feels like to be coach again. He's go for it. Woo!
He's just
I forgot how good this felt. Hell yeah.
Yeah, the Titans might be a good team, but who knows? Anyways, also, we'll start buy or sell for week 5. I have a lot written down. We got a lot to talk about. I'll start buy or sell for week 5 with something from this game that we're watching currently. Actually, I just wrote it down. Buy or sell. Derrick Henry is actually a tank masquerading as a human being.
Buy. I haven't seen him do anything in this game. I've been buying that for 3 years.
Oh, you missed a couple of stiff arms that he had earlier in this game.
He put Josh Norman on a
Oh yeah,
stretcher.
specifically one where he annihilated Josh Norman.
Because I've never seen a tank move laterally, I'll buy it.
That was a good one.
That was good. Yep.
Yeah. So that was a fun one. Josh disappeared into the Monsters Inc. ether. Can we get an F in the chat for Josh?
And he's gone.
Behind door number 3. That's right.
The option nobody picked.
So that's it on that one. Derrick Henry is a tank, masquerading as a human being. All right, next buy or sell for week 5 in the NFL. The winner of your 2020-2021 NFL Comeback Player of the Year is Alex Smith.
Yeah.
I always start off with the under tosses.
I'll play devil's
softball
advocate.
out here.
Nobody wants to be the bad guy here, so I'll say it. You look terrible. Okay, is that what you want me to say? Is that what you want? Is
No,
this what you
I
want
didn't
on the
want
show?
you to say that. I mean, you can
Nah.
be objective and say that he didn't look good, but you can also be objective and say that the Washington football team
Is bad.
is bad. Like,
Real bad.
it's them or the Jets for the worst team in the NFL. Like,
It's
Hey, I'll be honest. Kyle Allen didn't look that bad.
No, I don't think so. His touchdown was electric.
Kyle Allen looked like the best quarterback on that field, for like 10 seconds.
I mean, he's definitely looked the most comfortable in that position all year. I'd say over Haskins, I think. I think that team has a better chance to win with Kyle Allen over Dwayne Haskins.
But I mean, we kind of said it jokingly at the beginning of the year, but Alex Smith should win Comeback Player of the Year, even if he didn't. If Alex Smith were on the active roster for any game this season, he should just be given.
I don't really get it. I always thought the award was like who made the biggest comeback, not who had the best season, who didn't play last season.
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely. It should
know.
absolutely be like a narrative award.
It should,
Yeah.
yes. It should be. I mean, this guy should never have walked again. Could have died.
Let's flash back to someone who had a similar injury higher up on his leg, Zach Miller. Now his was a little bit more severe. What'd you say?
Is he playing on a team?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Zach Miller's was a little bit more severe.
I can't even recall this guy. I can't even think of who's Zach.
Tight end for the Bears.
Tight end for the Bears.
Oh, that's right.
God.
Yeah, I remember that.
First of all, I'd like to say that if you go back and look at that play, it was a touchdown, and it was a real shitty thing for the refs to do to overturn it after he was rushed to the hospital.
Broke his leg.
So basically what had happened with Zach Miller is that, for anybody who doesn't know, he's a Bears tight end, came down with a touchdown, and you know how, so this is the knee, right?
The knee, the leg.
Most of the time, ACL injuries come from an area of inside force, right? Or is it outside force?
Wouldn't it be outside?
I think it's outside force.
Just coming into the thing.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so because I know how the rest of this goes, I just couldn't remember how it starts. So ACL injuries usually come from an area of outside force, right? Force on the outside of the knee, forcing your knee to go inward. Zach Miller, his knee went the opposite way. So not only tearing, Derrick Henry just scored a touchdown, not only tearing his ACL and MCL and multiple other ligaments and tendons in his knee, but he severed the main artery in his leg. So odds are, so basically what happened is, while they were checking him out on the field, one of the team doctors noticed that like his heart rate was dropping. Had they not noticed that, he would have had to have his leg amputated. So it's a little bit different of an injury than Alex Smith, but equally as severe.
Against the Eagles?
What is that? No, it was against the Saints.
Why the hell was I watching a Bears Saints game?
I don't know.
Remember watching that game, and I don't know why I was watching it.
I don't know. It was in New Orleans, and I remember being horrified and also very upset that they overturned it. It was called a touchdown on the field, and he dropped it because, his leg exploded.
That's 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Something like that, 2-3 years ago. He dropped it after he hit the ground. I'd like to say.
Yeah.
And they overturned it. And had they not overturned it, the Bears would have won that game. That's beside the point. It's beside the point.
The
All
guy
right?
was dying.
Odds,
Okay.
yeah, we got
Could've
bigger things to
legitimately
worry
died.
about.
Anyways, good on Alex Smith. I'm glad that he's back out on the field. This one isn't really a buy or sell. It's more of a talking point. But this is the last time, I swear. But can we take a second to laugh at the Falcons?
I've been doing it for like 3 years, so I don't see why not. Is that it? We're just gonna take a second to laugh at the Falcons. There's nothing else.
Yes.
Why am I blanking? Who'd they play this week?
They played Carolina.
That's right.
And Teddy Bridgewater.
Can we take a
looked
moment
like
to
Matt
laugh
Ryan.
at sports books?
Yeah,
Making the
why?
favorites every single week so we could just keep making money?
Yeah, I agree.
It makes no sense. The
And
Falcons.
I really wanted to talk about, not necessarily about Dan Quinn and their what's his face, who I can't, their GM, who I can't remember his name,
Yeah, I can't either.
and shouldn't have been fired, but that's beside the point. Who Dan Quinn getting fired. I want to talk about what their owner said.
Yeah.
About Matt Ryan.
I didn't hear this.
Their owner basically wouldn't commit to having Matt Ryan on the roster beyond this year.
Yeah, he said something along the lines of like, obviously he's a great part of this team, but there's nothing can be said on his future or something like that.
Which,
something along those lines.
Strange. Here's the problem, right? I understand firing your entire football structure and wanting to blow it up and blow the whole team up and whatnot and start over. But the problem is the Falcons don't have any cap space.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any draft capital, and they don't have any good players. So defensively, at least, they don't have any good players. So
Offensively, they have multiple.
yeah.
Well,
Offensively, every single starter of theirs was a first-round pick.
The guy who just was out for the year, AJ Terrell's kind of good.
He's kind of good
when healthy.
So I don't know where you really go in terms of like starting a rebuild. And Buffalo just fumbled the return. It's Titans football on the 18-yard line.
Switch over to the raised
really
Astros game.
Oh my God.
10 minutes and
He almost
Tennessee scores.
He almost had a seam to take it over there. If that guy doesn't catch it, he's in the end zone.
Yeah.
If that one guy doesn't catch him on the outside.
It was almost a scoop and score.
Yeah, it really was.
The Titans are good. That's it. That's all I had to say.
The Jets GM came out with a statement on Le'Veon.
Great.
Long story short, it's pretty much political. And then, we believe this decision is the best interest of both parties and wish him future success.
Well, it's the best for
Definitely
Le'Veon. I don't know if
it's definitely the best for one of them.
Yes.
I much prefer covering breaking news on this show than just like running through the same two topics every week. So
I agree.
keep it coming.
Yeah, go off, King. Thanks, Joe.
But like the Falcons are in a really, really bad spot currently. They might have, they have like a first round pick. They don't have any like missing first round picks or anything like that moving forward. But like they're obviously not good. Their team isn't young. They don't have any young talent on their team other than Calvin
Ridley.
That's it. That's it. And look, Calvin Ridley's a great receiver. Like he's truly great. But like Todd Gurley's done. Julio's 31 years old.
I don't think Todd Gurley's done.
Have you watched Falcons
He's like
football this year?
No. Why would I be watching Falcons?
He's top 5 in the league in rushing this year.
Yeah.
When
on
you
a
give the
team that
man
throws
8
the
to
ball.
20 carries a game, he's going to be
Yeah.
top 5 in rushing.
Yeah, Todd Gurley's done. I agree. Like this is
18 to
probably
20
his
is
last.
not like insane.
Yeah,
And
but
they just have a lot of offensive plays.
more teams in the league are using running back by committee than ever this year. So by proxy of being a bell cow, you're going to be top 10 in rushing yards. Just because Brian Hill isn't eating into his work doesn't mean he's not good, or doesn't mean that he's good.
I think Todd Gurley's got the stuff.
Watching
So
him play
he's-
football, he looks like he's got cinder blocks tied to his feet.
Yes. He doesn't look good.
Same thing with David Johnson. Like David Johnson looked good for the first couple weeks of the season. He's returned to the slug David Johnson that we saw.
This is what old men do, man.
Just wait until my FanDuel lineup of the week then.
You have
We'll
both of them in your lineup, don't you?
Not just one of them.
You're Fanta. This episode of Hot Stove, sponsored by Fanta. Fanta. It's neon orange, just like the cover of your bile.
Is there? They don't have a slogan on here. If they
Yeah,
did, I was going to say
It was a bad slogan that I came up with too. Disregard that.
Fanta, it's
Anyway.
orange.
Now, watching this Bills game makes me wonder, Le'Veon Bell to the Bills? Because
Couldn't hate it.
They already have Devin Singletary.
who sucks? I'm
Oh,
going to say it
okay.
right now, out loud. He's not good at football.
Debatable, but same back as Le'Veon Bell. Right?
Except Le'Veon Bell can still run forward. Devin Singletary can't run forward. He can only catch out of the backfield or catch pitches.
I
So
will.
you
I
can
will
get it
say
up to
that
him.
I don't know as if Le'Veon Bell can properly run forward anymore.
Yeah,
I
Watch Jets
disagree
football.
completely.
He does his
Yeah, watch Jets football and he's hit before he can run forward.
right. He does his hop, skip, and a jump behind the offensive line. But when you have the worst offensive line in football, you do. Actually, that's
Right.
a lie. They're not the worst offensive line in football. So we're gonna do a fun graphic right now. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show you guys a
Whoa.
picture of something.
But the
I don't
Bills
know.
Please
have a
be,
good offensive
please
line.
be Nunez's lower half. Please.
It won't be. I'm gonna pull
Please.
something up real quick, and it's gonna be a graph that we're gonna talk about for a second.
Please be Nunez's lower half.
Let me find it. Anyways, keep arguing about Le'Veon Bell.
Can we talk about other old running backs that are kind of dookie?
Can we
on the
talk
subject?
about how Oscar Albies just went yard to the bullpen pitcher again and he caught it again in the ninth
Who the
inning?
hell is
I
Oscar
don't know who
Albies?
Oscar Albies is.
Oscar Albies, he goes by Ozzy as a nickname.
Oh,
but his real name is Oscar.
Okay,
Race.
so this is a graph here. All right, this is a graph here that shows basically the offensive lines and how good they've been in the NFL here.
Whoa.
So these lines here are the medians, right? League average
Yeah.
are these lines. Up, down is run block win rate. Left, right is pass block win rate. So ideally, you want to be here.
Sure.
The Packers have the best offensive line in football. That's not really much of a question. The Jets are bad. The Dolphins are worse. But my favorite part about this is if you look over in the corner, what? What?
Oh
Their pass block win rate, the Broncos is sub 40%.
Their quarterbacks are running for their lives.
They're losing pass blocking situations more than 60% of the time.
Zach, sorry to interrupt. Did they give that touchdown to the Titans? He was clearly past the line of scrimmage, no?
It looks like they gave it to him. I didn't really watch the play.
Yeah.
That is. I mean, they just gave out. I love it because pounded on the Bills, but like, wow, that guy was nowhere near.
Yeah, he was in front of the line of scrimmage
Like a lot. Did they overturn it?
by a lot. I don't know if they're gonna look at it. I also don't know where the line of scrimmage was on that play.
It was like the 9.
It was like the 9. He threw it at the 6-yard line.
It was. All right, sorry.
We'll see.
It was that outrageous. Though.
Anyways, I just wanted to pull up this graph. I saw it this morning.
I am shocked that the Eagles are on the right side of this graph.
I'm
So-
also baffled because that's
just
just not,
flabbergasted.
it's just not it.
So that's for run blocking, correct? That'd
This
be
is,
Ozzy?
the Eagles are positive in the pass blocking side.
Oh,
League
okay.
average
Okay.
for
Yeah.
run blocking.
The Eagles are not. The Eagles are a bottom 5 pass blocking team.
Wait.
I'm telling you this now.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
Austin. The numbers tell you otherwise.
So
yeah,
then,
it doesn't really matter. I do not agree.
Okay.
so
Well,
then, by this graphic, wouldn't this mean that?
I don't agree that cheese is real.
Okay. That's
I mean,
fair.
these numbers, I mean, there's statistics can prove anything. Is all I'm seeing from this because if you watch an Eagles game, Carson Wentz is running for his life every single play, every play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I don't watch other games. I guess people could be running for their lives more than once per play. So I guess that's possible. But I think the Eagles' offensive line might be the worst in the league, pass blocking wise.
Yeah, he only got sacked 5 times on Sunday, right?
Yeah, not that bad.
I can't believe I'm happy about my quarterback only getting sacked 5 times, but
Nobody hates the Eagles more than Eagles fans. That's a fun fact for you.
he hates the Eagles. I'm just disappointed.
Aw. That's kind
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
So
Also, shout out
this,
to Chicago for just being league average.
yeah,
I
for
feel
just
you.
being the most
Right in
average.
the center.
This was also heavily swayed by week 4 against Indianapolis. Going into week 4, they were like top 3 in pass block win rate.
telling me they just
Oof.
got dookied.
They
on.
just got pounded by the Colts pass rush.
Fair. I love
Um,
Amina Kimes offered up graph there.
yeah, well, Mia Kimes head of the analytics hive on football Twitter.
Indeed.
So yeah, that's our graph section of the show. Anyways, running backs don't matter, and pay offensive linemen more money. Those are my 2 analytics takes of the day.
I just saw the stiff arm Derrick Henry had on Josh Norman.
Yeah,
Electric.
Wow.
opinions. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Next up on the list, buy or sell. The Miami Dolphins sit in a pretty good spot to play spoiler at the end of the year.
Buy?
So,
Buy. Okay, how about I'll update this one. Buy or sell. The Dolphins are a 500 team.
It's
Are they-
still
are they 2 and
pretty
3 now,
early
or-
in the season, which means Ryan Fitzpatrick is still good. We gotta ask me this week 7, and I tell you right now I'm so on the fence about this team.
I think here's what I think, right? So their 3 losses have come to Buffalo, Seattle, and New England. 3 teams that we would consider pretty good, right? They played each of them super hard. Those games were close, all 3 of them. And then on the flip side, they just beat the piss out of the Niners. We'll get to that in a future segment of buy or sell.
Because
Flip
the
side of the field
Niners
this past
are-
week, they beat the brakes off the Niners this past week. They play the Jets this upcoming week, so they have a good shot of going into their bye at 500. I don't know what their schedule looks like for the rest of the season.
So they played the NFC or the NFC West,
Mhm.
and then they have
Not
the AFC
ideal.
West. So they still have to. They still get, and they play the Bengals, which is nice.
Do they play the AFC West? Is that true?
Yes. So
Okay.
they still have to play the Chiefs and the Raiders. But
Yeah.
they also get to play the Broncos. Like if you look on their schedule, they play the Jets twice. They play the
They also
Bengals,
get to play the Chargers.
the Broncos, the Chargers. I mean, there's an opportunity for this team to go 8-8.
Yeah, there is.
Like a legit shot.
How the hell are they going to get past that dynamite Broncos offensive line? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
I think one of the better buy or sell questions with this Jags team would be, or sorry, Dolphins team would be, buy or sell. This is the best case scenario for Tua this year,
sure.
getting to sit what would look like the entire year,
Sure.
probably.
I don't see why not. I would always say that it's a good situation if you draft a quarterback and then have the opportunity to have him sit for a year behind a guy.
Well, yeah, I think that's good, but is it the best situation for him to be? So they seem to be ahead of schedule, right?
Right. That's
Is it-
that's a great situation to be ahead of schedule.
you don't want to get him one more top 5 sort of piece of talent.
They have the Houston Texans first round pick this year.
Oh, they have Texans
And
first
their
round
own.
pick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They
Then
also
yeah,
have multiple
this is
first
fantastic.
rounders this upcoming draft.
Okay, I didn't realize they had the Texans first rounder.
Yeah, they still have. It's their last first rounder for the Tunsil trade. They traded 2 firsts for him.
Yeah, Okay. So yeah, never mind. This is great for Tua. Because the Texans are they might be the first overall pick.
I won't go that far.
Oh, Josh Allen, Mark, did you just see that?
No,
You're on baseball now.
I just switched over like 2 minutes ago.
Devian
Josh
Clowney.
Allen just threw up a softball.
Yeah, it's
Oh, wait.
Devian Clowney. They
Wait,
just
who
took
is
him out of
that?
the game.
Is that Matt Barkley?
Yeah.
What in the?
I mean, they're getting the piss beat out of them. There's 2 minutes left in the game.
That's what you love to see.
I mean, it's just smart.
Man, that's your MVP right there.
Hey, I never said that on this show. All right?
I'll tell you another MVP who looked like dog the other night, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
Is that Russell Wilson?
Except Russell
Broke
Wilson
his
won,
ankle,
so
man.
it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Russell
sorry.
Wilson played good in the second half.
Yeah, sure. And that game-winning drive, he only missed 5 passes in a row and just got lucky, but that's okay.
Didn't he start the game like 15 for 15?
Yep.
I know at halftime he was 6 for 6 for 32 yards.
Yeah, by the end of the third quarter, wow, I almost watched that pick six happen. By the end of the third quarter, he was literally like 15 for 15, and then he played a dog fourth quarter, and they still won.
To be fair, right? You're not gonna put up very many yards when you have 20 minutes of possession.
Yep.
Pouring rain.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Always tough.
Yeah.
Also,
No break.
the Vikings also completely blew that game.
I like the call though. Does anyone else disagree?
Oh, they're breaking a big one. TJ Yeldon down into the red zone.
Like Mark, do you think that going for it on the 4th and 1 was the right call? I mean, I would.
I
would have as well.
I don't know. I kind of like just
kicking the
didn't
field
work
goal.
out.
Sure.
So that makes it. But yeah, I probably would have just kicked the field goal.
You can't lose in regulation. The idea of that.
Yeah.
Mark's
Like,
an
but
old
it
guy. He
don't
doesn't
give
like
them like. Yeah, don't really give them the chance.
I get
necessarily.
it. Obviously, my flip side was 96 yards in a minute and 55 seconds. Even if you miss, and you shouldn't have, not shouldn't have, but you'd been dominating them on the offensive line pretty much all game. And
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
think-
just blame Alexander Madison, to be fair.
yeah, the outside hole was there, and he just
He just
went
didn't.
inside.
He didn't get it.
Anyways, we'll go to the flip side of this Dolphins-Niners game. And I know it was one of my bold predictions going into the year. So obviously I buy it.
They
But-
stink, dude.
The Niners, buy or sell, the Niners will not be playoff bound this season.
They might win 5 games.
I didn't
Well-
have him making the playoffs before the season, so I certainly
didn't
don't
either.
have him making the playoffs now.
I think it was one of those things at the beginning of the season where I thought that defense was going to be too good to not be in contention.
That's where you
But
fall
with
in
the
the trap.
injuries they've had,
Because another analytics argument I have, great
Their defense
defenses
wasn't good.
always regress.
sure, but I
Injuries
thought
or
even
not, it will happen.
I thought even the regression they'd still be too good.
I mean, they're all injured. To be
Yeah.
fair. Regression plus injuries is just doomed.
Sure, just dookie cheeks,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Their offense is dookie, their defense is dookie, in a division that just doesn't allow for you to be dookie and make the
Good.
playoffs.
Yes.
I'm honestly thinking, I really was sitting there trying to figure out how they were a good team last year, like a Super Bowl team. I
never
actually
understood.
genuinely don't get it.
I've never understood how they made it to the Super Bowl.
Well, they had the best defense in football.
I mean, their offense sucks. The only good
And-
player on that team is Mostert.
George Kittle.
Well, George Kittle plays for that team. So
Well, George Kittle's dookie. Overrated.
okay. All right.
But yeah,
Okay.
that team sucks. They have no pass catchers. They don't really have a run game. They have an offensive line who's banged up now. They have bad quarterbacks.
Yeah,
suck.
Jimmy Garoppolo isn't good, right?
No,
He's average.
I refuse to allow someone
Jimmy Garoppolo
to
is
give him credit.
okay for the money he's getting paid. Is what I'd say.
I would say he's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just he's an aggressively average quarterback, I feel.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo is Alex Smith.
Garoppolo got benched. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Well, I will. It's worth pointing out whether or not you buy it, and I do in some sense that it was strange that they pushed him back out after a sprained ankle after only 2 weeks in the first place, and then when you're getting your salad tossed like that, it's probably worth it to not have him come out the second half.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just
I mean,
I don't get why they rushed him back.
I think that if he didn't start that game, they might have won.
Yeah, that's
That's
point.
how bad he played in the first.
I don't see the reason why they rushed him back.
I don't either. Well, I guess losing to the Eagles was enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now you got blasted by the Dolphins. So
It's a tough world we live in here.
next buy or sell. How many do we have left? We have 3 left. Next buy or sell. And first of all, this next one deals with a thing that makes me not have fun with sports. Buy or sell, the Cowboys are still the favorite to win the NFC East.
Bye. I definitely buy.
I buy it.
I guess I buy it, but they're bad.
The Eagles have played better over the last 2 weeks. And by better, I mean they've gone from like the worst team to watch in football to like a passable football team.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my theory is if the Eagles get Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, and Jalen Reagor back, and they're healthy,
Mm-hmm.
and they get Will Parks and Darius Slate to be healthy, they could compete. I just don't think that's gonna happen.
Oh, who needs those guys when we've got the guy who caught a lot of yards?
Travis
Travis
Fulgham?
Fulgham, man.
Yeah, Fulgham. Yeah.
That guy.
I'd
So,
never heard of him. I checked the
uh,
box score and I was like, who the hell is this guy?
You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
I think the Eagles were his 4th team this year that he was on. If I
I
saw
want to
it.
shoot Zach.
Bouncing practice squad to practice squad.
Know when to
Yeah.
walk away.
I'd buy that,
Rest in
Zach,
peace, Kenny Roberts.
after getting into a pretty heated argument before this last game about the Cowboys' win totals at the end of this season. I still stand by it, Austin, when I say that this current roster is a 10-win team. Andy Dalton came in. He didn't look great, but 9 of 11.
He looked like Andy Dalton.
Over
That's
100.
just
I mean, minus the fumble, yeah, I guess. And I don't think he's going to look that bad. Like, he looked slow with, like, he looked, honestly, for a vet. I don't want to say nervous because he also just ended up throwing a bomb at the end of the game, kind of balls deep. But he looked kind of hesitant on some throws, I guess I'd say. And, like, the behind the throw on CD where he makes a good catch, it wasn't great, but also I don't think Andy Dalton's bad. And I think, like,
No.
this is finally the year where, like, they should be getting more recognition for signing Dalton because as a franchise who this has happened to multiple times before in the last decade with Tony, and their best answer was John Kitna and Kellen Moore, props to them for not letting Cooper Rush be the answer. As much as I jokingly was like, the Gold Rush is the guy, there's no shot that team wins 10 games. But I legitimately have faith in Andy Dalton to captain the team to 10 games.
I can't wait for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl just because Dak Prescott is out.
Dude, that'd be
They're
a
all gonna have
very-
the number 4 patch on their jerseys.
that'd be an interesting conundrum.
Frankly, I don't wish that curse on anyone because I've experienced it.
I was gonna say you'd have a real Nick Foles thing going on there.
I just refuse to let anybody else experience that nonsense.
I
He
think
won the Super Bowl.
Okay, but I'm saying for people whose favorite players are Dak Prescott, if Andy Dalton wins the Super Bowl, they're going to kill themselves because they won the Super Bowl, but then for 5 years straight, it's not worth it.
yeah,
Right.
when Dak
And it
comes back,
reverberates onto other teams. Andy Dalton signs with the Colts for a 2-year deal and then just dies, and then they trade him away to a team, who knows, and they just take on a $20 million contract for no reason, just so they can have him maybe come in and start over a guy that they drafted 4 years ago who isn't good, that they overdrafted. Right. Like, you don't want any team to go through.
That sounds kind of oddly specific. Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is that if they win the Super Bowl, it would reverberate and have negative consequences on other franchises as well.
Can I just non-Dallas, as Mark Nunez, me broadcasting aspires, why the hell is the Rochester Channel 8 news team just outside One Buffalo Drive? And it is a Tennessee game. Why would you drive to Buffalo just to do a live shoot outside the practice facility where no one is?
I don't know.
I guess I kind of get it because you sort of want the backdrop of something related to the team.
Yeah, it's literally just their practice facility.
All right, you guys vamp about something. Okay, so I'll leave you with this next buy or sell, and you guys can vamp about it because I got to go to the bathroom and refill my water bottle.
Okay.
Buy or sell, as it stands right now, as it stands right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the team to beat in the AFC. Go.
Sell.
What do you say?
The Steelers are the team to beat in the AFC. Buy or sell.
I don't think they're the team to beat in their own division. I don't think they're the team to beat in their conference. I don't think they're even that good. How's that?
Yeah, I haven't really seen them play much. I mean, the Eagles gave them a hell of a fight for the Eagles probably played the best game they've played all year, even though they didn't win. I mean, arguably you could say San Fran, but
yeah,
probably played their best football. I think the Steelers haven't even peaked yet though. I feel like they're still waiting for Ben to get more comfortable. And if Deontay Johnson, by some grace of God, could stay healthy for a week, I think him, Claypool, and Juju would be a really good receiving core that makes their offense pretty hard to deal with while also having a above average defense.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make them better than Baltimore, even like Austin was saying, in their own division?
Yeah,
hell, even the Browns. Even the Browns are 4-1. Who's to say the Browns can't beat Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I agree with Austin. I don't think there's a team to beat in that division. And there's also a team in the AFC called the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I
don't know if
are
you
we
guys
just
have heard of it.
is people just gonna take this loss to the Raiders and ride it to the bank, and now the Chiefs aren't just the best team in football still?
The
I don't
Chiefs.
know.
Fun stat the other day: the Chiefs have lost, I want to say 9 games now with Pat Mahomes as a starter. Their average points per game is 32.
This was the first game he lost by more than 7 points or something like that.
Yeah. And it was 8 points.
Yeah.
He's never lost by more than 8 points.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's only because he didn't get the ball back. If he would have got that ball back, everyone in their mind knew that was a tie game.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
Props to Gruden.
Yeah.
Also, Max Muncy just hit an absolute piss missile into the right field seats.
Nice.
Is that 8-6 now? Because I have Atlanta -1.5.
I believe that's 8-6. Yeah.
So I assume all 3 of you sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Big time.
So here's the reason why I brought it up. I don't necessarily buy it myself. I just think it's an interesting conversation to have, that I think personally that the gap that we thought between Kansas City, Baltimore, and everyone else doesn't really exist at this point.
I would say that for Baltimore. I don't know about Kansas City.
Because, a lot of people are going to bring up they go our team's figuring out the blueprint to play the Chiefs, which I think is one of the dumbest things you could say. But what is certain about the Chiefs is that the last few weeks, specifically this week on Sunday, they just got outplayed. Their offensive line hasn't been very good.
No, they haven't.
They're not getting any better with Kelechi Osemele being out for the season. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just
and the Ravens have had
good, but
the Ravens having the best defense in the NFL is offset by the fact they've had some interesting offensive struggles the last few weeks against some very subpar competition.
Yeah.
I will say the only reason I also like the Ravens and Chiefs is I like their coaches a lot better. I don't think Tomlin's that good of a coach, frankly. But
well, that's just a silly goose take.
Because,
okay.
I mean, I have a Steelers fan in my house, and I know a bunch of other Steelers fans, and no one really seems to like Tomlin's in-game coaching. And I can see why, because they can't actually beat bad teams by more than 10 points. They seem to play down to every competition they play. I think this year is like the ideal proof for that.
No, it was just a thought.
Yeah.
I like bringing it up. It's just
I'm sure a lot of people out there think that. I would think so, at least after starting 4-0.
I'm not averse to saying that Pittsburgh is the second best team in the AFC behind Kansas City.
For me, at least, I'd like to see them play a team with more than one win first.
They get Cleveland this week, so.
And that'll be the first actual game they play this season.
yeah, the way Baltimore's offense has been playing the past couple weeks hasn't instilled me with a lot of confidence in that team.
No way.
So I think that division's going to be interesting, but I think when it comes down to it, if Pittsburgh's playing Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, I think Kansas City's going to come out on top 9.5 times out of 10.
I'm a little scared for Pittsburgh's secondary so far this year. I mean, the teams that are lighting them up, I mean, have not been good at passing the football. The Giants, the Broncos, and the Eagles have all lit them up passing wise, like yardage wise. I don't know how that's possible. It's not good. Because the rushing defense has been insane. Like nobody can rush for more than 10 yards except for one Miles Sanders breakaway. It's been insane. Nobody can even catch the ball in the backfield before they get hit.
Yeah. All right.
Austin Dodgers have a runner on first after a Oscar Albies error.
All right, I got to change it. I'm watching the ALCS right now. I got to change this game.
Yeah, this game's starting to get interesting, especially for Austin.
They just I changed it to yes and not FS1. Oh,
that's okay, dude.
Good hitters up or anything. Okay. Last buy or sell for the NFL in Week 5, and this game that we just watched really threw a wrench in this one. Buy or sell are a top 5 team in the AFC.
What the hell did you just do? Are you saying the Raiders?
The Chris Berman thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Raiders.
It's a mediocre Chris Berman.
Boom.
Pretty unlucky. I had them being 2-4 after week 6, and they are not going to be 2-4. They'll be 3-3. So
it's going to be unlucky to be 2-4 after week 6 when they have a bye in week 6.
Sorry, after 6 games. So they're actually going to be 3-3, not 2-4. So it's pretty unlucky.
Oh no, Austin.
Oh no. The Dodgers just scored another run.
I'm going to sell. I still don't like the Raiders.
I would have bought it before I watched the Titans play football.
Yeah, I would have too. Titans.
I wrote this yesterday, and then I watched the Titans. I wrote this on Sunday, and then I watched the Titans play a game today.
Yeah, well, I'm going to sell.
Yeah, I guess I could give you that because actually, I still have 5 teams. Well, I still have 6 teams better than them without the Titans.
Jeez.
So
why are you such a hater?
Well, I think 3 AFC North teams are better than the Raiders.
Oh, I don't.
And I think the Bills and the Patriots are better than the Raiders.
Maybe I'm underrating the Browns still.
I think you are. I think they're legit.
Well, I think if those 2 teams played, it wouldn't be a good matchup for the Raiders, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're worse than the Browns. But I think the Browns would run for 800 yards on them.
I will say, by the way, that I did write in a last buy or sell. The Browns are legit, and then I scrapped it.
I'd buy that. I think they're the real deal.
I would. I don't know. If we're talking legit, like I don't know what legit means, but I don't know if I could buy that.
Legit to the extent that they could, I don't know, do a little bit of damage. I mean, as it stands right now, they have the best run
Yeah.
defense in the NFL and the best rushing attack in the NFL.
That's two good things to combine there.
Yeah. So
Those are, in fact, two things that usually mean you're good at football.
yeah.
Wow.
So just a thought. And that's it. That's buy or sell for week 5. So we're gonna move forward and talk about week 6 in the NFL.
Austin, I'm very sorry.
What is that?
This has to be the worst bad beat of all time. 7-0 in the 7th inning. I mean, this is obscene.
Austin, I'm very sorry.
I didn't realize it was the 9th inning.
I ended up trying to chase my losses last week, and I ended up down like 38 or something like that. And I was like, I'm going to take a week off.
Jeez.
That's
So we're gonna move ahead to week 6. A little bit of an unusual slate this week. There's no Thursday night game. There's 2 Monday night games, and 4 teams are on the bye. Are there? This week isn't very exciting.
Hasn't been for a couple weeks.
As we described it in I-5, there's a lot of stink on stink matchups this week.
Mm-hmm.
We got the football team and the Giants. We can get Falcons, Vikings. We got Lions, Jaguars, Dolphins, Jets, Bengals, Colts, and I still don't buy the Colts are a good team. So
I don't buy that either.
I'll put that as a matchup between 2 bad teams.
Baltimore, Philadelphia is going to be an absolute spanking.
I don't know. I mean, if Eagles defense is actually look pretty good, other than their coaching, but their players.
So, are there any games in particular that you're looking out for this weekend, or? I'll start.
Cowboys on Monday night.
That game could be something.
I think that game could just be 2 teams just going back and forth with 0 punts.
It's possible. I mean, the Cardinals defense actually hasn't been too bad this year. I say that even though Chandler Jones is most likely out for the season.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see. But
Chandler Jones, Rochester native.
I'm going to limit say that's a puntless game.
Go SU.
Put it on the money. Put it on the mark right now.
Well, I wouldn't do that. But I would say that the matchup that most interests me this upcoming week is that Browns-Steelers game.
Yeah.
We just talked about it. We talked about it a couple minutes ago, but I'm liking this game a lot this upcoming week. It's strength on strength. It's the Browns rushing attack against the Steelers rushing defense. It's the Browns rush defense against the Steelers rushing attack. A lot of strengths, bumping heads in Pittsburgh this Sunday.
Yeah.
That one interests me. I like probably an unpopular opinion at the desk, but Packers Bucks.
That game should be good.
Yeah, that should be a fun one.
Chris Godwin back for the Buccaneers team. Obviously OJ Howard out, but
maybe. We don't know if Chris Godwin's back. He didn't return to practice today. He was on the side field doing some running, which is a good sign given his hamstring injury. But obviously you'd like to see him practicing with the team. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. But I think he'll be genuinely questionable going into the weekend. Anyways, but yes, that game should be good. I'm excited. I'm excited for that game.
Yeah.
And I look, maybe it's selfish. Maybe I'm a homer, right? But there's a part of me that's really excited for this Bears-Panthers game this weekend. Who would have thought that going into week 6, these 2 teams would be a combined 7-3?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the Panthers would be good. That's the spoiler.
Did you?
I thought
Did
they'd
you
be a
actually think the
mediocre
Panthers would be
team.
good?
Well, I thought they'd win 8 games, so 3-2 is not that out of the realm.
Sure.
But Actually, I,
mean-
think I had both these teams finishing 8-8. Well, I didn't have the Bears 4-1. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know that excitement is the right word, but interest, I guess.
Well, I'm
I-
excited as a Bears fan.
Well, I'm excited that game's not on my TV.
How about the Panthers 2.5-point favorites?
What?
Yeah,
Boo.
that's interesting.
Boo.
Is it? I feel like their offense has consistently scored more than the Bears, and they're probably more consistent.
Yeah, and the Panthers are at home. Like, I can see it. It's just I sort of expected the Bears to be the favorite in that one.
Is the home team? Yeah.
Now let's just
Because-
remind you that the defenses that the Panthers have played are the Raiders, the Bucks.
Bucks, man.
Bucks are good. Bucks are
Yeah.
defense. The Chargers, the Panthers, and the Falcons. So, not necessarily a murderer's row of defenses that they've faced.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Christian McCaffrey not coming back this week.
Most likely not. No.
Mike Davis, unstoppable, by the way.
This is why running backs don't matter.
Yeah. Someone asked the other day. They're like, yeah, but now you got to question, how much do they actually use McCaffrey now with Mike Davis going off? I go,
A lot. Yeah.
stop.
Mike Davis
Stop.
becomes irrelevant once Christian McCaffrey is fully healthy. That's
If
how.
anything, I think Reggie Bonnefond's gotten himself more.
Yeah,
than
I think
Mike Davis.
I think Mike Davis will still be relevant for like 3 weeks, and while McCaffrey just gets back to tune,
Yeah.
and then it'll be over.
Once McCaffrey's fine, Mike Davis won't touch the field.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see a
Almost
reason
quite
why.
literally. Christian McCaffrey plays more than like 90% of the snaps.
We already know McCaffrey can keep the load. I mean, he before this injury, he hadn't even missed a practice in his career. I'm pretty sure he's fine to just go.
Yeah. So, any other games?
Kansas City Buffalo should be interesting.
Still
Yeah, it
think
should be a good
Buffalo's
game. I don't know why, but part of me is not as excited as I should be about that game. I don't know why.
Buffalo's only a 3-point home dog. That's
I think you're not as excited probably because Kansas City's coming off a loss, and I don't know what their record is with Pat Mahomes, but I bet you it's pretty damn good after coming off a loss. And I don't think it's going to be much of a contest. I think it would have been nice to see this game on Thursday night, like in a packed Orchard Park.
yeah. If there were fans, I feel
But-
like this game would be a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet
Um,
if both these teams won this week, that game would be a lot better.
Yeah, true. If they all had
Yeah,
the hype.
that's
of,
all.
Them
like,
both
them.
losing is kind of I mean, the Bills getting absolutely trounced. I don't know. Really kills the vibe of that game.
Titans really. I mean, maybe it's because we literally just watched the Titans beat the piss out of the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not half an hour ago, that game ended. Maybe it's because of that, but I'm
Good
not.
old-fashioned slobber knocker.
Yeah, I guess that's what you could call that. All right. We got nothing else. We're going to get into our FanDuel lineups for the week. Does anybody actually set their lineup, or am I the only one that's done it?
I have.
I'm in.
I don't like it, but I have.
Yeah, I didn't feel very comfortable this week with mine.
Okay. Who wants to start?
I can go first. I don't think I've ever gone first, so maybe this will be a good luck charm for me.
Okay.
I went first last week, so
Yeah, hey, there you go, Mark. Maybe this is what you got to do. So for my Forbes fuck 'em up FanDuel lineup of the week, I got I abandoned the stack one week and I went into second place. It was very good. Last week went back to the stack and ruined me.
Okay,
So, of course-
pause. Before you say something stupid, I just
Yeah.
want to say that maybe the reason behind you not doing well wasn't because you stacked your quarterback with another player, which is the logical thing to do in a DFS lineup. Maybe it's because your quarterback's leg fell apart.
oh, I didn't.
No,
know
he-
he had
he let me down.
Stacking is just statistically better, proven
Right.
to be better. I don't.
In the
I
2
mean,
quarters he had, he let me down.
There's just not. I don't know what
Anyways.
the argument is here.
Anyways, continue.
No. So I've gone back to the stack again. And
That's
that's how I
good.
was
You
like,
saved yourself from saying something stupid.
yeah. So this week I went with Matt Stafford, very reasonably priced, and Kenny Galladay. Um, yeah, I mean, unleash them on that Dookie Jacksonville secondary. So compete. Also for running backs, I went with the old man who looks like he's got. I believe Nunez called him sluggish David Johnson.
Yes.
He's really cheap. I think going into this game, I was like, dang, Tennessee, maybe it's a big scorer. The Bills got him tonight. They're probably going to run pretty well on him. False. I think the Bills had maybe 40 yards rushing all night, minus that TJ Yeldon one. But we're going to see how it works. You don't need to run when you're David Johnson all the time because you got the hooks out the back. You got to catch some balls. Let's see what happens there. Houston's a passionate team. Second running back, I changed it last because of some extra money that opened up. So I ended up going with James Conner against Cleveland. I think just in a real duel there. You know those gritty AFC North teams liking to just run the ball, power eye. James Conner gets something done. Sticking with that, my second wide receiver, also from that matchup, Odell Beckham, really cheap, and he's come up pretty big in important games for them this year, and I think that he can do it again. So I like that. In the third wide receiver spot for the price, I don't know how people aren't just taking the number one against Atlanta every week. And for this week, I'm taking Adam Thielen. I just it's a score fest, and then he's going to score him. Tight end, I chose Miami's tight end Mike Gesicki against the Jets because when you're playing against the Jets, I want someone on their team in my fantasy lineup every week. Lastly, my flex, I guess two less. My flex play, I went with Derrick Henry, as Nunez called him tonight. He could be a tank. He very well could be a mobile tank. And the Atlanta Falcons defense, because that's the cheapest there is, baby. So not much logic to it, but it'll work. I'll get
It's a good lineup. I like it.
Thank you.
I just had to I just remade my entire lineup because Josh's and I were very, very similar. Let's just put it that way. So,
That's what you like to hear.
yeah.
You love to hear that.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So go ahead, Austin.
I'm rocking a pretty elite stack here. Matt Stafford and Kenny Galladay.
Let's say that before I changed my lineup, I also had Matt Stafford and Kenny Galladay.
I
don't
also
know.
have Matt Stafford and Kenny Galladay.
We should do one week where we have to pick the same stack and the same wide receivers, and we just get to pick different running backs.
That's
That's
what this
basically
week
what
almost
we
turned
did,
into.
Josh.
No, I went pretty exotic this week. Cash games. Who cares? I'm playing tournament. So my
That's
two
true.
running
I
backs
also
here.
basically have a tournament lineup.
Alexander Madison and James Robinson are my running backs here. Dalvin Cook not playing next week. And Alexander Madison's still very good at football, and even in limited, well, I shouldn't say limited touches, limited time, because he still ended up with 20 carries. He went bananas against Seattle, and all they do is run the ball. They don't stop running the ball, and it works. So I feel like that's fine. James Robinson, he'll get back on track this week. A tough week against Houston, but Detroit's just not really that great at football, especially on the defensive side, And so that game should be a lot of scoring. Chris Thompson doesn't exist. He's not a human. James Robinson just catches the passes out of the backfield, so I feel like he's fine. Run it, wide receiver 1, Calvin Ridley, really good at football. Minnesota can't play defense. And every game that Calvin Ridley's been healthy in, he's at 100 yards. That one game where he had 0 catches, let's forget about that one. Okay. Terry McLaurin against the Giants. I don't know. This one might change because with Dwayne Haskins, he was great. He was getting a bunch of targets, a bunch of yards. I don't know what to expect from Alex Smith against.
Now J.D. McKissick is getting all the touches.
I don't. I probably wound up swapping Terry McLaurin out because who knows?
I will say with Kyle Allen in last week, Terry McLaurin was like my DFS must start because what he did was just focusing DJ Moore like a relentless animal last year.
Right, and he didn't have a bad first half.
No, he
He had like 5 targets in the first half, and then in the second half, Alex Smith. Well, I can't talk bad about Alex Smith. I mean, what are we talking about here? My flex is another receiver, the third best receiver on his team. Now, no, you guys can't scoff at this when I say it because I'm not actually serious, but I kind of am. Juju Smith-Schuster. Feel like he's going to get in the end zone this week in a divisional matchup like Josh said, the AFC North battles. The big players show up, they get in the end zone. Juju somehow will do that this week, even though he's garbage. My tight end, the best tight end in the NFL, also threw a touchdown pass in a Super Bowl, Trey Burton. Phillip Rivers pounds the tight ends. Trey Burton comes back with 6 targets this week. He's back. He's back and better than ever. The Bears just didn't know how to use him. And my downright dirty defense of the week, any team playing Daniel Jones. So that would be the Washington football team this week. Daniel Jones sucks. I wouldn't be surprised if they tank for Trevor and just cut him and he never sees a snap in the NFL again after this season. Yeah, there you go. There you have it, folks. That team sucks. I'm not winning anything. This is a 4th place team.
Before we start, before Mark goes, I want to talk about that actually for a second. So we had this conversation earlier today over the whole tanking for Trevor thing. Are there any teams that realistically can get the number 1 pick that shouldn't pick Trevor Lawrence? Because I came up with 3. And they're the 3 teams that took quarterbacks this last year in the first round, in the top 10. That's Cincinnati, Miami, and Los Angeles.
Here's the thing for me.
Is there any other team that's in contention for the number 1 overall pick that shouldn't take Trevor Lawrence?
Pretend there's a world where the Jets have Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell. I say they don't. But
that world doesn't exist.
This world is not that world. And so I'm out. I think Jets have to take him too.
Yeah. I think you're right, Zach.
Okay, no. Hear me out. I know this is hear me out. Oh, here we go. Guy hates his team, blah, blah. The Eagles won't take him. And I know you're like, oh, the Eagles won't be in contention. Okay, they're 1-3-1. They're garbage.
I legitimately don't think they'll be in contention for the number 1 overall pick. But
I know,
But think about it, right? Jacksonville, you take them. The Jets, I'm just looking at the bottom of the standings right now. The Jets, you take them. If you're the Broncos and you somehow end up with the number 1 overall pick, you take Trevor Lawrence. Oh, you're the Giants? What do? You take Trevor Lawrence. You're the football team? What do? You draft the guy from Clemson.
Do the Broncos take Trevor Lawrence?
They should.
I don't know that Drew Lock.
Well, we will know by the end of the season whether or not Drew Lock is good.
That's true.
So if they're bad enough to be the number 1 overall pick, I think we can safely assume it's because Drew Lock is bad.
I mean, also, nothing gives me confidence that Dave Gettleman would actually just draft Trevor Lawrence.
No, I'm just saying should.
Sure.
If you're the Atlanta Falcons and you land with the number 1 overall pick, you know what you do? You take number 16 with the flowing hair.
We already know my opinion on should, and that's every team not named the Chiefs. So.
Well, and the Ravens.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that's my opinion. Every team not named the Chiefs, draft them.
Okay. Anyways, Mark, what's your Fanta FanDuel lineup of the week?
My Fanta FanDuel lineup. Fuck that.
Hey man, this is a family show.
Listen, dude, you dropped about 38 of them in
they pissed in someone's mouth earlier or something. I mean, Adam Gase.
Yeah, we're.
No, I said that Adam Gase had pictures of the Jets owner shoving a doorknob up his ass.
Yeah, you said that. This show's off the rails.
You said it again, frankly.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Guess what my stack is? It's Matt Stafford and Kenny Galladay.
That's Mark. You got
good stack.
What's that?
You got a new phone over
there? I've got an iPhone 11.
Oh, when did you get that?
Like July.
I noticed the screen, and I noticed it wasn't the same as your other phone.
Yeah, I got it over the phone. Or Pro Max. That's what it's called, right?
I'm getting the iPhone 12 soon. So
Boy.
I'm excited. They just announced it today. Whole Apple event. It was a fun time.
Yeah, you gonna play some League?
I'm not going to play any League.
So yeah, I got Matt Stafford and Kenny Galladay. Running backs, I got Aaron Jones because Aaron Jones is really good.
So
Oh, I've heard.
Yeah. And Jonathan Taylor because I think he can do something against Cincinnati this week. My other two wide receivers are Juju Smith-Schuster and Adam Thielen. Woo! So the things were already said about those guys. I don't think Juju is bad. Just throwing that out there. I don't think he's a bad football player.
do you think he's better than Deontay Johnson?
I don't know. Not gonna lie, I don't know too much about Deontay Johnson.
He's good.
Okay.
Oh my God. What an error by who's going to get charged with that? Is that going to be Correa or Altuve?
I hope it's Altuve.
Tuve, because he's had about 15 errors in this playoffs alone.
Oh, just look at him. That's him. That's on him.
It was a really bad throw, but also Correa could have fielded that. That's what I was saying.
My tight end is Hunter Hurst because I sort of started to run out of money.
Is it Hayden Hurst or Hunter Henry? Which one is it?
Hayden Hurst. Did I really just say Hunter Hurst?
Yeah.
Hunter Hurst Hemsley.
Albies.
Hunter Hurst Helmsley.
You.
Oh my God!
For my lineup.
He just spiked that into the ground.
Yeah, it was bad.
He's got the yips. I think he's got the yips.
Anyways, Hunter Henry.
No, Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst.
It's because I had Hunter Henry this past week, and
I understand.
Hayden Hurst because I don't know about Minnesota's defense, and I'm thinking without Dan Quinn, maybe the Falcons will actually start playing some football.
Possible.
My flex is Justin Jefferson because I think there's a chance Kirk Cousins throws the ball to two different people this week against Atlanta.
That's a gamble.
Well, see, here's the problem, right? He throws it to three people, if we're being honest here, but he doesn't throw it more than 22 times a game. So
yeah,
one guy is going to have 100 yards and a touchdown. Just which one?
Yeah, it could be either. So, I'm playing the odds here. One of those two might have 100 yards and a touchdown. And then I went the opposite of the other two. I took the Giants defense against the Redskins or football team.
Yeah, the what, Mark?
The Washington football team.
Thank you.
Let it be known. I changed my defense, and I think you should all consider changing your defenses. Everyone just put Miami in as your defense.
Yeah. I'm picking Miami's defense up in a couple of leagues, like a couple of redraft leagues this week. I don't have enough money in my lineup for the Miami defense, though.
It's tough. It's a tough scene.
Anyways, I'm going to go with my lineup of the week here. Now, usually I do the Stanley Steamer stack of the week. But here's the thing, right? I didn't do a quarterback wide receiver stack this week. What I did was a game stack.
Oh.
So I have three players from the same game that we're stacking. First of them is my quarterback, and I went with the man that we just watched, Ryan Tannehill. My quarterback this week. And I'm lining him up with Derrick Henry. I think this Houston Texans defense is dookie. And I think the Titans offense is good.
Sure.
I think there'll be points scored in this game, and that's why I'm running it back with Will Fuller the fifth. Now, that's mostly a contrarian play here because I think many people, I'm also doing this in a tournament lineup. I think many people are going to see the week that Brandon Cooks just had. He had the 12 targets, blah, blah, whole thing, and be like, oh, he's the guy now. And I'm not saying he isn't. Maybe he is. I don't know. But I do know that when fully healthy, this Houston Texans defense is more than capable of producing two top 20 fantasy wide receivers on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and Fuller is coming off a week with a touchdown. I know he only had 58 receiving yards, but
Right. So he scored a touchdown in each of the last 3 games.
And his quarterback loves him.
Yeah. So I'm going with Will Fuller. My other running backs are Jonathan Taylor against the stinky poo-poo Bengals defense, and then Myles Gaskin against the stinky poo-poo Jets defense. Now, fun fact for you about Myles Gaskin, he might have been the biggest fantasy winner of week 5. And he became that biggest fantasy winner before kickoff this last week. You know why? Because Jordan Balaj, as I call him now, was a healthy scratch going into the game against the Niners this past weekend. Not even active for the game. And then Myles Gaskin proceeded to out-touch Matt Breida 21-3, I believe, is what it was. This is Myles Gaskin's backfield. And in each of their 2 wins so far this season, he's had at least 21 touches. He had 21 this week against San Francisco, 27 in week 3 against Jacksonville. This man is getting the touches. And in a game that they should be handily winning because the Jets are, como se dice, thank you very much. Myles Gaskin should be getting that workload, and I love his price point at $5,700 this week. My other 2 receivers on the slate, other than Will Fuller, went with 2 NFC North receivers. And they're pretty popular around these parts. I went with Kenny Golladay and Adam Thielen. You know, the Falcons' pass defense is dookie. The Jacksonville defense is dookie. You know, the Jags played well over their head for the first couple weeks defensively. They're back down into the pits of hell, playing like garbage like we thought they would. So I got those 2 guys. My tight end this week is a man who's been sneaky. Had at least 5 targets in each of the last 3 games. Had at least 43 receiving yards in each of the last 3 games. Solid floor with this guy, and he's going up against one of the worst defenses against tight ends in the NFL. That's Eric Ebron.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Against the Cleveland Browns. Pretty cheap. He's $5,200 this week. I like it. I like it a lot.
On that Myles Gaskin thing, the Jets also have given up a rushing touchdown in every game this year. So
there you go.
I think they've given up a rushing touchdown in every game since 2014.
Yeah, so if you want a shoe-in touchdown, it's a Miami running back.
Myles Gaskin is a lock-it-in cash game play this week. If you're doing cash games, there's no lineups that you should be playing that should not have Myles Gaskin in it. He's too well priced. His workload is too good. The defense they're playing is too bad for that to be the case. And then finally, I had 4,200 left over, so I went with the Packers against the Bucks just because that's what was there. I don't think the Packers defense is very good, but maybe they get a couple sacks. You know, maybe they get an interception or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, the defenses
are a crapshoot anyways. So
unless you have the shoe-in defensive touchdown,
right,
it's just no point.
Right. So that's my lineup. That's everybody's lineup. We'll come back here next week. Yes, Josh.
Man, I'd like to add in one last football thing because I just saw. I'm quickly glance what I've come to find my story of the week. I told Austin this on Sunday that no one's gonna tell you this in the media, but one fool did. No. There was one idiot today. Maybe you saw the story and that's why. But Tony Dungy came out and said that Dak's injury might have been a blessing in disguise for the Cowboys. And I was like, there's no one who was going to say that. And wow, I'm shocked. Because as a dumb fan, or some might say, who's like, obviously it's a financial win for the team, as dumb as that sounds to say, but like, whatever. I did not expect the media personnel to say that. So.
Yeah, I really didn't think that was going to come out either. That's pretty insane.
And he got some slack on it and just didn't. No, he was just like, no, I'm not going to apologize. I said what I said.
I mean, I guess on the money side, I just would not in any realm refer to this kind of an injury as a blessing in disguise because it's something that could potentially end the man's career. So,
yeah, good.
Sure, for Dak Prescott. Yes.
That's a gritty play by a former coach.
Gritty play.
Does Andy Dalton have some Jets style stuff on Tony Dungy?
Maybe.
Is he making him say this?
He's got a video of Tony Dungy sucking on Chuck E. Cheese's toes or something like
Not for nothing, but that's something you wait till like you wait like 3 months, and then they go, "Wow, Dak's recovering. He looks really good." That's when you go, maybe this injury was a blessing.
that.
in
Yeah, you don't say it
disguise.
the day after it happened.
Yeah, that's a little.
I
I don't know.
think he actually said it Sunday, didn't he?
Oh well, he's on the Sunday Night Football broadcast. So
Yeah, he said it on. Yeah, you're right, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh my! He said it's Sunday night.
so he
He
said
said
it
Sunday
less
night
than
it
an hour and a half after it happened.
Yeah, he said it on live television, like literally right after it happened. Yeah.
Oh, and they couldn't stop him because it was live television. Oh my gosh,
All right. Well,
that guy's a maniac.
Oh God, he can't hear us. He's got his
I
AirPods.
almost respect the passion, frankly.
I mean, that's a franchise guy. That's a huge franchise guy.
You know,
that's a guy that loves the Shield. Right?
we were so
Got Jim
close.
Irsay.
We were so close to going an entire episode without saying the word passion.
I mean, what more do you want me to say?
I refuse to go a whole episode without saying the word passion.
I was gonna bring it up after we were done recording, and there it is.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Josh. I think it's kind of stupid to say, but okay. You know, if
The
he
Rays are
wants to
currently
go on
up
air and
2-1.
say it, go for it.
Yeah.
I guess. Anyways, that was episode 6 of the Hot Stove Podcast. / Hot Stove After Dark 1.5.
The one where Zach goes on a rant about Adam
Gosh,
The
you
Gase.
did
one
a
where
forward,
Adam Gase
by the
ruined
way.
it.
You did a / not there. Now that's yep. / There you go. Like this. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Follow us on Twitter at HotStoveWMYO.
See how long that bit goes on for.
A while. We'll be back soon. We might be I don't know when any of us are free to actually record after dark.
I'm good.
Right now.
We'll discuss this afterwards. We won't do this while we're on the episode.
Give
We're
him a peek
recording.
behind the curtain.
Right now. clip this, and I'm good for another hour.
Okay. Well, we'll be back hopefully with another episode of After Dark soon. If not, we'll see you guys next week for the next episode of Hot Stove.
Go Rays.
Bye, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.